Welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka, and we have Amaya who's now in the studio, and she's all dolled up for this evening, being a Friday already.
Yes,
wow,
I start
good morning.
early on Fridays. Good morning.
I know. Wow. Talk about being ready already. Ooh, what have you got, a date?
No, I'm not going to reveal my plans on TV, of course, but maybe I'll let you in on them later, Chase. But we have other better things than my plans this evening to talk about. Like, what are your plans?
My plans? Yes. My plans actually started yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
And you're continuing on today, is it? Yes. I see a similarity today and yesterday as well, but we'll let the audience figure out what that change is not.
I have no clue what she's on about.
Okay, moving on from that, Chase, we have a very special guest with us on the show this morning.
Yeah, and I think you would be best to give that introduction.
Because fashion is something I think that all our viewers would be interested in, and especially when it comes to Sri Lankan designers and people who have really put Sri Lanka on the map. I think there are some designers who really do stand out, and we have one of those designers with us on the show this morning, Sonali Dharmawardena. Good morning, Sonali.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's lovely to have you on the show, and you're looking lovely. I'm guessing this is one of your creations.
Thank you, yes.
Do you always wear you?
Not necessarily.
It sounds a little weird the way she says that. You always wear you.
Like, you exclusively wear Sonali Dharmawardena designs?
With saris, now yes, but I do like wearing other designers too.
Of course. So let's speak about now, you've made a name for yourself, especially when it comes to batik designs and saris here in Sri Lanka. So you've mentioned earlier that you've spoken about how you started out countless number of times. But for those of our viewers who may not be familiar with the story, let's hear how you started out in batik and design.
Let me get a little creative and try to make this interesting, since I've said it so many times before. I actually fell upon it quite accidentally. As the saying goes, one good turn, you have it returned back to you. My husband's father was a very famous batik artist.
Okay.
Probably one who really put Sri Lanka on the map. His name was Vipula Dharmawardena, Kalashuri Vipula Dharmawardena. His work was shown in the Smithsonian Museum, and he really put Sri Lanka on the map in the 70s with batik. He passed on, and my husband is the eldest of a family of 5 boys who chose not to do batik because they thought other businesses were more attractive and probably were more lucrative. So none of them did this, and when they wanted to put together a memorial for their father, they were trying to pull some pieces together, and that's when I actually followed Pushpadeva into his father's old studio, which was now run by his mom, and looked at it, used one of my husband's old vetis to try it out. And I actually wore that as a sari for the function that we had for my father-in-law, and after that I haven't still turned back.
Wow. So your design aesthetic you sort of developed by trial and error, was it?
Definitely. I've never been to design school. I come from a very what would I say, old-fashioned heritage where professions meant doctor, lawyer, accountant, what have you. And I was the idiot in the family who chose to do arts.
Not be harsh on yourself now.
Very harsh. And so I was in advertising for about almost 20 years. Now don't start calculating my age.
I wouldn't dream of doing that. I think
so around that time that I went into this, and I had made friends in the advertising world with my event management and stuff like that, with Ramani Fernando, Michael Vijay Surya. So these people also came for the event, and they really motivated Pushpadeva and me by saying, your work is fabulous, it's fresh, it's different. So that's the moment that we decided we'll do something. At the beginning, my husband was very involved with it.
This is where the business comes in, isn't it?
Yes, and then
it's like, looks like this is actually lucrative.
But but he's into bigger things and I'm more the artist. So he thought, you play around with your colored pots and paints.
Doodle away.
Yes. And he went back he's in the garment industry. So I really enjoy what I do because I do something different every day and not everyone has the luxury of a job like that.
Let's face it, I'm sure that you're doing better than most of the doctor, lawyer / accountants out there.
And speaking of which, we actually have some of her designs to showcase as we speak. And while that's being showcased, could you also tell us about the rich history and the culture when it comes to batiks?
Actually, what is wonderful is that today a lot of Sri Lankans are patronizing the heritage and the culture that is not just in batiks but in other areas, but batik in its sense taps the creative side in a person. But what is beautiful is that we have maintained what was the process from the years gone by. It has not been tampered with technology. Nothing has gone into it that actually has taken away from
the
it.
essence.
That's what's beautiful about it. And as an artist, I appreciate that. And I think that's what makes it unique.
So in other words, the designs become more intricate, but how the whole process it's still exactly the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. It's just, I wouldn't say intricate, because I think they did intricate work even back then. I think it's more that they become unique because you cannot do repetitive work. You'll just have, there was a time I used to do work, consult in the garment industry as well. They loved it. I mean, for example, buyers overseas would look at it, big brands would look at it and say, can we do, so many hundreds of thousand pieces of some particular thing.
Oh, wow.
Because that is retail market.
Exactly.
Like if you
And
look at
that would take a lifetime.
it would take a lifetime to do it in batik. So immediately that doesn't work.
Yes.
Of course, my husband is very smart, so he thinks you can scan it and then you do mock batik and he will make the money with the mock batik, while I will still...
This is where the business really helps.
Yes, really helps. So, yes.
But are you not in favor of that? Is it? No.
Not for me. I enjoy doing single pieces. So it may not be a business in that sense, but it keeps me happy.
And you were saying that you have wanted, actually international market brands have approached you.
Yes.
How have they responded when it comes to individuals to your designs and taking it into an international level when it comes to, of course, the one-to-one, not in the mass market?
I'm not following.
In the sense of how has the response been when it comes to the international side of the clientele?
The response is phenomenal. The only problem would be to retail and to do large numbers. But they love it, they appreciate it, and actually a lot of cultures value when you look at heritage work, because it's unique. When you say a designer piece and we pay 100,000 rupees for something, you know that it's one of many. But here, it's one single piece on the entire planet.
Is there anyone in particular who might have maybe bought something from you?
Maybe someone we saw in the pictures as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, some of them in the pictures are Sri Lanka, like famous Sri Lankan names. But for me, the greatest moment was when a friend of mine, who was an expatriated person who lived here, her best friend was a famous singer.
Okay.
And she brought her to me, and she commissioned me to do something. Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I've watched Grease. Have you watched Grease?
And for my era, she was huge.
Yeah, yes.
So,
I think she's still a pretty big name.
I'm still trying to process this one.
Yeah, yes. That's like celebrity worship to a whole new level.
Yeah, I know.
So wow, so she wore one of your designs.
Yes.
That's really amazing, and I'm sure that is a really great memory for you.
Of course, it was a great moment. Yes.
But like that, I mean, is it important to have, I guess, celebrity patronage as well to keep, especially a Sri Lankan brand alive?
Yes, I think it's more still in our parts of the world that becomes so important now, but not that Olivia Newton-John is going to put batik on the map in that sense, but it would be like, the fact that to her vintage, yes,
Yeah.
you'd look at it like that. But the lovely thing is that it can render itself to different ages and to any age.
Yes.
And if you look at the profile of the people whom you saw a little while before, you have Ramani, who's of a different age group, to Ihali, who's of another age group.
Yeah.
And they both wore things that suited them, and they were still batik,
Yeah.
and it had its own statement.
Of course, they were both stunning. I think two elegant ladies in two elegant saris.
Indeed. And there was a time, I think, that batik wasn't as popular as it is, at least right now.
But before that, I think we have to go for a short break, Chase.
Yes, so we'll come to that
Give you
soon.
a small commercial break, and then we'll be right back on Good Morning Sri Lanka with Sonali Dharmavardhana.